Folks, what's going on? I wanted to come on here and talk about the housing crash. That ain't gonna happen. So there's a lot of questions, or a lot of our buyers are asking us or sitting on the sidelines because they believe that the market is gonna crash. This market has zero indication that it's going to crash, okay? A lot of us most of us are of age, so we lived through the whole 2008, 2010 crash, and we're able to buy properties at dirt cheap. The market is not going to crash, folks. So if you're sitting on the sidelines thinking that the market is going to crash and you're going to go out and purchase a property after the market crashes, you're highly mistaken. There's reasons why the market will not crash, okay? And I'll tell you some of those things. One reason is the way the market was set up, the way the housing market was set up back in 2008, 2010, well, prior to 2008, prior to the crash. It's no longer set up that way, okay? A lot of people got mortgages back then. They were called subprime borrowers, okay? They were people who did not have great credit, and some people didn't have great credit, and they didn't even have jobs. So when all of that stuff happened, this is why getting a mortgage today is completely different than getting a mortgage 15 years ago, okay? There were these things called no-doc loans. You just had to fill out an application and you were given a mortgage. That no longer exists. Most people that are in their properties now, who have purchased their properties after the crash, they had to have jobs, they had to have credit, they had to be in good standings. Right now, we're in an economic market where the job market is good. So most people who lost their homes back then, those were people who, again, they didn't have documentations to show that they could afford the houses to begin with, okay? And then they got into these things called exotic mortgages, or mortgages like adjustable rate mortgages, interest only mortgages, all of those things that are really not in play in today's market. So if someone had an adjustable rate mortgage back then, let's just say that their rate was 5% for a certain amount of time. Those people were struggling to make the payment. And what they were told when they signed those papers was, okay, that's fine. You're only going to pay this for a certain amount of time. Then you can go and refinance. Okay. So they thought, okay, I'm going to struggle and I'm going to pay this $1,000 mortgage for a year or 2 years. Let's call it a year. And after a year passes, I'll go and refinance and I'll get a lower mortgage. Okay. What happened was when it was time for them to go to refinance, they could not refinance. They were not allowed to refinance, or their payments, the rate adjusted and the payment went up. So the $1,000 mortgage that they were struggling to pay now became a $1,700 mortgage, okay? They couldn't really pay the $1,000, so they definitely wasn't about to pay the $1,700. Those people lost their homes. Lenders were not getting paid on their mortgages, i.e. that was one of the reasons why the market crashed. Okay, you have people living in homes that should not, people that were allowed to purchase homes then that should not have been allowed to purchase homes at that time. Now you have people who are living in homes to get a house since that time and get into a house. Now you have to jump through all type of different hoops to get into these homes. Now you have to have great credit, you have to have good credit, you have to have a job, you have to show what's called the ability to repay the loan. All of that stuff did not exist then. So right now, a lot of people, again, are sitting on the sidelines thinking the market's going to crash, the market's going to crash. The market is not going to crash. It is going to continue to get stronger. New homes will continue to get built, and we're talking projections a year, 2 years out. And again, rates are higher right now. Are rates as high as they were years ago? Absolutely not. Are they higher than they were a year ago? Absolutely. But it's still a great time to purchase a house, okay? So if you are that person that is sitting on the sidelines thinking that the market is going to crash, the market is not going to crash. If you have buyers, if you're a realtor out there, you have a buyer who thinks the market is going to crash, share this video. I will have this discussion with anyone. I don't want to sound like the used car salesman said, this is the time to buy it. You must buy it now. There's people last year who thought the market was going to crash. Them people that are sitting around last year who never bought are kicking themselves in the behind right now, wishing that they bought, because they're looking back like, I really missed it. What I don't want you to do is to sit there and think today that the market is going to crash, and next year you're looking back saying that you really missed it. So again, my opinion only. I've kind of been around finance a long time. Things that caused the market to crash or allowed the market to crash when it did, the housing market then, those things are no longer existent. I don't believe the market is going to crash. If you want to discuss it further, 678-359-3574. Send me a DM. Anthony Rogerson, Homestar Financial. The market will continue to boom. It isn't going to crash. You want to get in now. Talk to you all soon. Peace.